In this video, I'm sharing how to break the cycle of negative thoughts. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kiran. So I'll start with this. Recently, I had a spat with a close friend and I walked away from that conversation feeling quite angry. Now, I don't know about you, but when I am frustrated or angry or feeling any of those negative emotions, my mind goes into an overdrive. Like, have you ever had that time when something bad happened and your mind kept spinning the same story, the same thought, the same conversation over and over again? Like literally saying, he said this, I said this, she said this, and on and on and on. And before you realize, you have a circuit of negative thoughts in your head. And the more you entertain these negative thoughts, the more angry you feel, right? Now, if there's one thing that I have learned in meditation is that as long as the circuit is running, you can't come to a resolution. You know, my meditation teacher often used to give this analogy. He would say, let's say this is you with all your negative thoughts. And this is your higher self trying to get your attention, wanting to set you ideas for resolution. And here you are going in circles in your thinking. And your higher self can't make a connection unless you stop this monkey mind. And so the question arises, how do we stop this monkey mind? Or in other words, how do we break this circuit, this loop of negative thoughts? Now, different people use different techniques to break the circuit. For some, yoga does wonders. For others, it's deep breathing. And for some, it's walking or maybe change of scenery. Now, in my situation with my friend, I tried all these things and yet nothing seemed to work. Like I couldn't get these negative thoughts to stop in my head. And later in the evening, as I was having tea and reflecting on this incident, I said to myself, I can't imagine how depressed and hopeless this situation makes me feel. And it kind of surprised me because until then I was so caught up in my negative thoughts that I hadn't paid attention to what was going on inside me. And the moment I uttered these words, this happened. Where before my brain was running a negative loop, now it felt that all the space was taken up by how I felt. As in, my feelings had overridden this loop of negative thoughts. And over the course of next few days, every time my brain wanted to say, hey, look at what your friend did, I wouldn't allow myself to go there. I held on to this image, to this feeling, as in I told myself that these negative thoughts make me feel depressed, so I am in no way entertaining them. Now, the reason I'm sharing this exercise with you is because, you know, when you have negative thoughts, they can get out of hand rather quickly. And so, mental discipline is an absolute must to get a handle on your negative thoughts and stay mentally healthy. And with everything going on in the world, I think this is a skill that everyone needs to learn and master at this time. Because the power to override these negative thoughts always lies with you. Now, in my situation with my friend, you know, I did this exercise for about 10 days, as in constantly interrupting that loop of negative thoughts. And after about 10 days, I finally got to a point where I wasn't feeling as angry and I was a lot more neutral about the situation. And when you are neutral, you can find solutions to your problems. Because remember this picture I showed with you earlier in the video? Now your higher self can guide you. Now, in the description below, I put a link to a worksheet that will walk you through the entire process. So feel free to download it. And as you're working through different aspects in this worksheet, you want to be really honest with yourself because that's the only way you get to the other side of negative thoughts. Now, briefly, I will walk you through the worksheet. So in step 1, write down in detail the situation that's triggering negative thoughts in you. And as you work through this step, really get honest about the situation that you are dealing with. Step 2, get clear on what exact negative thoughts are running in your head. Like, don't just say, I have negative thoughts. Write down the exact phrase in your head. Like in my case, some of my thoughts were, my friend's behavior makes me feel mad. I never want to talk to her again. Why doesn't my friend understand what I'm saying? You get the point, right? In the next step, Notice how these thoughts make you feel. Is it feeling irritated, yucky, frustrated, anxious? So there's a whole list that you can explore. And in this step, you really want to dig deep here and figure out what's the core feeling that comes up for you. And once you identify that feeling, just circle it. It could be one, it could be two, or many. In step 4, once you have identified your feeling, write it down here. And really hold this image in your head, especially when your mind wants to replay that negative scenario over and over again. And you want to keep repeating this step until you reach a point of neutrality. And you will know that because when you are neutral, you won't have charge around the situation. And finally, in step 5, it is about what is the next steps you are going to take going forward. How are you going to ensure that this situation doesn't happen again? Sometimes it's about setting firm boundaries. Other times it could be having a heart-to-heart conversation with your person, or maybe have no conversation, or maybe what you might find is that you need to change yourself, or perhaps the message that your higher self is giving you is to just wait and watch, or perhaps it's something else. So really tune into whatever your guidance is telling you. And you might need to come to this exercise multiple times, and that's okay. Because sometimes we are so triggered that it takes a while to come back to neutrality, to get to your center. Like when I was doing this exercise, like I shared before, it almost took me 10 days to come to a point of neutrality. So please be super patient and super kind with yourself as you work through your negative thoughts and beliefs. Because once you do this exercise multiple times, then you'll get a handle on it and it will almost become like an automatic process. In wrapping up, the benefits of doing this exercise is that number 1, your negative thoughts won't have a strong hold on you. Number 2, you will become in sync with yourself. And number 3, and most importantly, this exercise will help you achieve neutrality. So lately, I have been using this technique quite a lot, and it's truly been a lifesaver. And now over to you. What is your favorite way to break loop of negative thoughts? If you have any special tools or tips, let me know in the comments below. I would love to learn from you. I hope these suggestions were helpful. As always, please only take what resonates. Discard the rest. Thank you so much for your time today. I will see you next Tuesday with a new video, and until then, have a beautiful rest of the week.